something just feels off. It feels like what I'm doing is never gonna work. I don't know how to explain it. I just have this sinking feeling that it's not gonna work. And I don't know if that's self-doubt creeping in or if it's the truth. And I honestly, I think I don't have any way to figure that out. I'm not gonna stop posting, right? I will keep going. I will keep doing it no matter what. But I'm just not sure what the best way to do it is. Now, for those of you that don't know, I'm Colin. I'm documenting my journey of becoming a successful internet personality, not just a YouTuber. I'm already a full-time YouTuber, but the content I was making was highly scripted, highly edited, and not what I wanted to do. So I'm pivoting to this and kind of giving all that up to try and do this. Not to try, to do this. I need to stop allowing the self-doubt to creep in, but I have no idea how to do that because there's just something about what I'm doing right now that feels like it's not gonna work, and I don't know how to explain that, but I don't know. I'm so used to posting a video, right? Knowing roughly that it will succeed and then watching it go from nothing to like at least 10,000 views. If I got 10,000 views on a video that I would post normally, I would be depressed. Even 50,000 is low, right? That's not a good video. Something went wrong there, but to see every video I post now get like 10 views, I think the best video I have right now doesn't even have 100 views. That's depressing. It's demoralizing, and I just can't. I'm having such a hard time wrapping my head around whether or not what I'm doing is the best way to do this or will ever work. And I suppose that's kind of how everything is, right? You never know if it's going to work. But there was at least some backing with what I did before, right? I saw Mr. Beast say that if he started a channel if I started a channel and I knew what he knew, I could have, 1 million subscribers in 6 months. And I heard that and I was like, okay, this guy's telling me that there's just a skill gap and knowledge gap that I can close. And if I do that, I can be successful. And so I had the confidence. I was like, the person who's best at YouTube in the world basically is saying, if you just knew what I knew and were up to my skill level, you could blow up like I did. And I heard that and I was like, okay, I can do that. I can close the knowledge and skill gap, right? I can do that. I can go learn what needs to be done and I can learn how to do it and I can execute. And I did that and it worked. But this time I don't have that. I don't have that at all. I don't know where to even get that from, right? Who is gonna tell me that same thing? Who's like, yeah, if you just keep getting better at your commentary and you continue to upload what are essentially Let's Plays that aren't in a series, you can find success. I don't think anyone is saying that right now. In fact, I think everybody is saying the exact opposite. That Let's Plays are dead, it's not the way to do things, and you cannot succeed this way. I have told so many people that. But, sorry if you can hear my cat, but there's something in me that's like, there's gotta be a way, right? There has to be a way to break into that space. And I've found a few people who have, right? I've seen some people who maybe it's a little different. It's not exactly a Let's Play or something, but it's something kind of like that. There are people who are breaking into the space. I still watch people who are essentially doing Let's Plays. Ken, who does Clash videos, it's essentially a Let's Play. He plays Clash every day and just talks over it, and it's fun, and I like watching it. So I'm trying to break into that space, and I'm just not sure how. I'm just not sure what I'm doing is the right way to do it, and I don't know how to get clarity on that. The self-doubt was so bad last night. I actually failed. I failed for like real, not like by choice. I did some work in the morning, right? I recorded like 3 videos, and then I came home after going out to dinner and going to Walmart and, running an errand essentially and coming home, and I just couldn't bring myself to record. I didn't even have the stuff I needed to record laid out in front of me, right? I wasn't sure what I was gonna record, so that made things even worse. But the self-doubt just put me in a Python constrictor killed me hold where I felt like I was suffocating and I just couldn't do it. I just could not bring myself to record, which is really depressing, right? Failure sucks. I'm sure I'll fail again. It's only by a happy accident that I even managed to put out 4 videos yesterday, because I made that Clash tier list video. I made it the day, it was supposed to be published on the day before, but I accidentally didn't unlist it. So I had a 4th video to post yesterday. Otherwise, it would have been just 3 videos, which is depressing. That's not what I want. I want to at least get 4 out now. I've learned that 6 is really difficult, right? 6 is a lot of work. Dude, even making 6 thumbnails in a day is a lot of work. It's a lot. And on top of that, trying to be entertaining for 6 videos and all of that, coming up with ideas for them, I still want to shoot for 6 every single day. This is 1, and I'll go record my 2 Dress to Impress videos. That'll be 3 total. And then I have a video about 50 types of people I hate that I think is like a funny idea. Just came up with it. We'll see how it does. So that's 4, right? That's 4 for the day. But I still want to try and get more done. I don't want to fail because of lack of action, right? I don't want to be like in like 2 years or something, and it's God, not 2 years. This won't take 2 years. It will not take 2 years. But I don't want to look back on the time I'm spending on this and be like, damn, I just didn't try hard enough, right? I didn't give it my all. I want to leave everything on the table. I want to put it all out there and see where that gets me, because I think that's the only way to do it. If I do anything less, I will be really depressed if it doesn't work. You know, I'll have something to blame, right? I guess that's essentially what I don't want. I don't want to have myself to blame for it. I think that's an interesting thought right there. I don't want to have myself to blame for it. I try and take really complete accountability for my life, right? I'm a little chubbier than I would like to be right now because I haven't been running or counting my calories or whatever, and that's 100% my fault. I would never attribute that to the universe. I don't have as much money as I would like to have. That's my fault. It's because I'm too pussy or something to make Overwatch videos. I just can't bring myself to do it. It feels like torture. And I don't want to like hire an army of slaves who basically work for like pennies on the dollar to do work for me to run a bunch of channels or something, you know? I have all of these things I'm not willing to do that could make me a lot of money, but I choose not to do them. I know almost anything can make you a lot of money, but I've chosen some of the things that I know for sure could make me a lot of money, that I have the skills to do. I've chosen not to do them because I don't want to. So I would never attribute my lack of success or lack of the things that I want or the type of person I am to anything but myself. I own that. I am me because of the things that I choose to do or not do. Now, with that said, I don't want to be able to blame myself for not succeeding at this. I do not want that. I want to make sure that I give it my all, that I do my absolute best, so that when I walk away from this, why am I even considering that I would fail? Maybe that's the better question. Why am I assuming failure is a default here? That I want to be able to fail and then walk away and say it's not my fault that I failed. Why? The self-doubt has just creeped in so much. I don't know what it is. It's in like the past 2 days that I'm just like, damn, I just don't know if this is going to work this way. I still feel confident that I can get to where I want to go. I'm just not sure this is the way to get there. And I don't know a better way. And there's nobody I can ask for help, really. I don't think. Maybe a few people I can try and ask for help and see what they think. But really, how many people know a Jinxie or a Queso or anything like that and can be like, hey, how do I get to where you want to be? And I feel like most of them would be unable to really tell you, right? Because they just did it. They just turned on the camera and made it happen. And I suppose I'm doing the same thing, right? I'm sure they dealt with many of the same issues and, you know, mental loops and things that I deal with as well right now, that I'm going through, that I've been through before. Just to be clear, I have done a thing. I have gone through this before and been like, man, I don't know if this will work. I don't know what we're doing will work. We're making these types of videos. We're posting them. They're not getting any traction. Let's try this. And done a lot of that, right? I've done a lot of that to get the small success I have, to earn those 50,000 subs, right? I've done a lot of work to get that. And maybe I didn't expect to have to do all of the work over again, but it really does feel like I'm starting at square one. It feels like almost none of the skills that I've learned really transfer over here, because so much of what goes into this type of content is really different than what I was doing before. I still know what a good title and thumbnail is, right? I still know what might make an interesting concept for a video, but man, executing on them in this way is so different. It's so different than what I'm used to, that it really does feel like starting over. And I'm trying to provide value for other people, and then I think back on this video, and it's just like, what value could anybody possibly even have gotten from this, other than watching a man struggle with his lack of success from playing a Roblox game, right? And I don't really know. That's a pretty big issue, right? Not being able to provide enough value to people to be worth watching. I feel like I'm just ranting at this point, but maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. It's an honest expression of where I'm at least. At the very least, it's authentic, right? This is where I'm at. This is where I feel I'm at. This is the daily routine I'm going through. And I'm very privileged to be in this position, which I'm grateful for. I can even try this, right? We're scraping by financially, sure, but I still don't have to go to a job every day. And I'm very thankful for that. I'm very thankful that I was lucky enough to succeed and to put all the work in and to get here. I hate saying lucky enough to succeed. I feel like anybody can do it. And I feel like if I own complete accountability for where I'm at, that includes the good stuff too, right? I'm not lucky. I put in the work. I busted my ass. We lived really badly for a long time where we both had part-time jobs and we're barely scraping by so we could put more time into YouTube, right? We did that. So I don't want to take that away from me either. So I'm thankful that I've done the work to be able to even try this. But man, do I not know if this is the right way to do it, the right way to go about it. And I don't know how to get clarity on that. Maybe I'll come up with it, but maybe it's not something that you can come up with, right? Maybe it's something you have to find. Maybe you have to find clarity through action. And I've even considered maybe trying to do longer videos like this. These videos have always been like 10 minutes, and I wonder if I could just talk like this for a long time. You know, like what if I did one of these for like an hour? Where would that go? There's something. Hold on, we're gonna stand up. There's something almost, I don't know, meditative about doing these. Sorry, I'm really tall. I'm like 6'3", so I have to put my little tripod on a chair to even get it up here. There's something almost meditative about these vlogs, right? Where I get to express myself in a way that I never have on the internet and to other people. I don't talk to a lot of people. I don't interact with a lot of people. And when I do, there's a plane. I certainly, it's so loud. Hold on, I'm gonna get water while we let this plane pass. Even something like that, right? Even keeping in me moving a tripod or picking up a water to drink it or sitting there silently to let a plane pass is something I would literally never have done before, because every ounce of who I really was or the things that really went on behind the scenes got cut out for the sake of retention. So I'm trying to learn to be comfortable with the fact that I don't have to do that, right? I will watch the streamers I like. I will watch them fuck with their audio settings for 2 hours in almost near silence just because I like hanging out with them. And I guess I'm trying to find the group of people who like hanging out with me, which might be tough when I don't like to hang out with anybody else, really. I don't like hate my friends or anything. I'm just a quiet, reserved person who is okay being alone. I don't mind sitting around doing my own thing. I never have. I'm not an only child, but I was for like 7 years. I learned to play by myself and to chill, on my own. So maybe I'm not cut out for that. I don't really know. And I guess maybe if I'm not cut out for it, I'm just trying to train that up. But I feel so stuck right now. I feel stuck in things. And it's only been like a week. It's been like a week. And I'm doubting so much. Like, why? Why doubt so much if it's only been a week? I just can't really accept that what I'm doing has the potential to get me to where I want to be because of my past experience. I know that if I upload a video to YouTube, YouTube can categorize that video and immediately send it out to the people who want to watch it. And if it's a good video, it will do well, get views, and be successful. Maybe the issue is that YouTube doesn't, like, people who want to watch Colin is not the same people as like people who play RuneScape, right? It's a much broader, undefined category that doesn't exist in the same way that exists. So YouTube has a much harder time finding those people. So it's just going to take some time. And I tell myself all sorts of things like that, right? I really need to work on my cadence as I'm speaking, I think. That's something I really need to focus on. But it's all of those thoughts that are just like that thought right there. An explanation, a rationalization for why things aren't going the way that I want them to, why things might be able to work out in the future if I just keep going. They're all rationalizations or almost excuses for why I'm not seeing the success that I want to. In my mind, at least. That's what I think of them as. But I see so many people try to do exactly what I'm doing, and they never succeed. They will literally never make it in their entire lives. And I know it doesn't come down to luck. It's not about luck, because I've done it before. And nobody who does YouTube, who actually does YouTube, who's successful at it, would attribute their success to luck. They know that they put in an unreasonable amount of time and effort to get to where they wanted to be. I'm willing to put in the unreasonable amount of time and effort to get to where I want to be, but I just want to make sure that what I'm doing actually has the potential to get me to where I want to go. The Overwatch channel certainly did not, right? The ceiling on the viewership and the amount of money that can be made and the success that can be had there is quite low doing it the way that I was doing it. Again, you have to think, the audience had almost no attachment to me because they couldn't see me. I was devoid of the videos. I was not there. I was completely cut out for the sake of retention. So I didn't really build an audience who liked me. I built an audience who liked Overwatch and my ability to present information about Overwatch to them in an exciting and entertaining manner, which is certainly a good skill, right? If you give me an encyclopedia about some bullshit topic, I could craft that into a wonderful video that's enjoyable to watch, that breaks down all that information into something digestible and enjoyable, which is a great skill to have. But it's not the skill I necessarily want to have. And at the time, I just wanted to be successful on YouTube. I just wanted to get success. I just wanted to be I just wanted to not have to work a job. I've always hated a job. I've always hated working a 9 to 5. I hate being told what to do. It makes me suicidal, like legitimately makes me suicidal to be in positions like that. So I have vowed to never go back to a job. I'd sooner go cut grass or pick up dog shit than go work a job. I will not do it. I will never work for somebody else again. And anything that even smells like working for somebody else, I will not touch it, because I know it'll make me miserable. So at the time, all I wanted to do was get out of working a job. So I was doing whatever would work, right? Not what I wanted to do necessarily, not what I started YouTube to do in the first place, just whatever would get me out of the position I was in. And now I've created a new box of the Overwatch channel that I hate working on because it's just not fun. It's truthfully, it's just not that fun. And damn, do I want to work for the rest of my life doing some shit that's not fun? I've just created another job for myself. So hopefully with this, I can not do that. I can create something that doesn't feel as much like a job, which is why I feel like everybody does this to begin with, right? I know parts of it will still be like a job. I still have to clock in every day basically and record and do these videos, but I'm excited to do them. I enjoy doing them. It doesn't feel like work in the same way. But I don't know how to create that new position, I suppose. And I've gone on for almost 20 minutes now, which is, I guess, a new personal record. Let's go. Maybe I'll try and keep doing these longer and longer to get more practice. I feel like I was able to enter more of a flow state towards the end, but I've clearly fallen out of it now that I'm talking about this and winding down on the video. I don't know. I hope you got some value from it. This is where I'm at. Hopefully today will be better than last night was, because last night I wasn't ready to quit, but I was ready to not keep going. I don't know if that makes any sense. Probably not, but it made sense to me. So I'll see you tomorrow, and in the rest of the videos I have to record today. Let's get it.